Hello and welcome to the Indulge podcast. I am Rupam Jain and today I don't have a script because today we are going to discuss about Chennai's first Rage Room, which is just opened 25 days back. Yeah. And Rage, as we all know, has more definitions than one. So we are going to make this podcast, as conversational as possible. Of course, I'll ask the first question, but beyond that, as we talk, we'll pick up things, that needs to be discussed with our guests. And our guest today is the owner of Chennai's first Rage Room, Arun Sripal. And I have with me here counseling psychologist Sangeetha Makesh, who's going to bring a new perspective to this whole discussion. So I'm going to start with the first question, and let me start by asking Arun. Arun, what were you thinking when you started, a Rage Room, that also in Chennai?
It was not really a new idea,
Okay.
and since we had a restaurant, we wanted to add something new to it. So when I was going through a lot of ideas, this seemed kind of unique and something specific to Chennai, and it's the first one, and kind of wanted to make it unique. So that's how we started the Rage Room.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Sangeetha, I have been to his place and I've seen, we've done the shoot and all also. So I was actually asking him, he's got a lot of games and all, caroms and those puzzles and all. So I asked him actually the other day that if he was looking to, open something new, why not start a gaming arena?
Yeah.
And do you want to say what you told
Yeah,
him?
like if I look at a gaming arena, there are plenty of gaming arenas. I can stumble upon a gaming arena as easy as stumbling upon a pebble. So I thought, why not try something new, something really unique that's not here at all. So we wanted to keep it as unique as possible and give some attention to my restaurant. So Rage Room seemed like a very good idea and something that's not there,
But you were
and
not
also
there.
helpful.
Sorry. Yeah. Okay.
We did give a lot of thought to it. We were researching about how was it done, like in abroad, how was it done in Bangalore and everything, and then we just we started it as an experiment, and it still has a lot of scope for improvement.
Okay, yeah. But when you were starting the Rage Room, obviously the name itself is Rage.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you were aware of people associating it with anger.
We were, yeah.
Right? Yeah?
Yeah.
So that time, did you consider that, the kind of people that you would get
Uh,
probably will come to vent out their anger?
Yeah, we did have that
Okay.
thought, and we wanted to keep it as safe as possible. And since you asked, rage is has a lot of definitions. So one being trying to hurt themselves or trying to hurt anybody. So we didn't want them to do it anywhere else. So we wanted to give a safe space with all the equipments or all the safety measures where they can do it safely, so that it doesn't hurt them or anyone else, and it gets contained in there.
Okay.
So that was the thought behind it, and more than that, we wanted more of it to be a fun activity than it being a stress relief. So stress release can be through any fun activity. So it doesn't have to be necessarily be Rage Room.
Right.
It can be through anything. So that was the idea, and Rage Room can be one of the ways.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Sangeetha, I want you to, give your perspective here. So same question, when you were starting the Rage Room, rage automatically we associate
Means anger.
immediately, it's anger,
Yeah.
And like I said, we also got excited, oh, there is a Rage Room in Chennai, So what do you think, why is we so quick to associate, we get excited also, there is a Rage Room. Plus, we also know the pros and cons of it. Your perspective about how you see, a Rage Room in Chennai. What do you think about it?
Right. So when Arun was explaining, what was the idea behind starting this, one thing that I got to know was it was more a novelty in his idea,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So he could have started a gaming thing, but then like he said, he would stumble upon a lot of them. So this is something very different, very unique, right? But the name Rage Room, so like you said, the moment you look at rage, it's immediately synonymous to anger. And you are wanting to think whether that was the intention of Arun is not the point, but the impression that it creates on anybody who sees that is, oh, it's a place for catharsis,
Yeah.
right? That is, an observation that you are making for yourself. It's your perception. That's not Arun's perception or the idea with which it was started.
Right.
So looking at it purely from a psychological perspective. So I also would like to throw light on certain aspects. I remember you saying that there was some research that went into it before you started. It was not just, not
It's a
started
simple
just
research,
like that. Yeah. But if you go back to any theoretical model, because it is also about safety.
Yeah.
Safety about people who are coming, and also your safety
Yeah.
as a founder of this place, because it is a unique idea.
Yeah.
So I would like to look at it from a psychological perspective in terms of analyzing the pros and cons of this.
Yeah.
Right? So like Rupam said, the moment you see anger, then the subsequent understanding is there is so much of pent up anger, and you are looking for a safe space to come and ventilate, and this is a space which gives you safety gears and all that. So within limitations you are doing it, types, right? Which is good. But again, it's only been 25 days now since you started, so I'm assuming that most of your clients would be people who are coming to have a feel of it.
Yeah.
Right?
It's more like them wanting to suit up,
Yeah,
have the gloves and everything.
yes.
It's just an experience
and,
all its
and
own.
this is a world of selfie, so immediately they want to have a selfie and post it on Insta. So it's more a social media thing.
That's
also,
actually
right?
more of what's happening.
Exactly. So it's just been 25 days, and I do understand that's how it's going to be. But I would also, want to kind of bring it to attention that the psychological implications of people who are really coming with anger.
Okay.
You probably have not got clients so far because it's too early.
It's too early.
Just 25 days and people are just getting to know, and they're very excited when they get to know. So at the outset, they just want to come and see, get an experience, get a feel of what it is. So only when it starts spreading through word of mouth to people among friends groups and stuff like that, they will start recommending it to people who are actually finding, who are having anger issues.
Okay, yeah.
Right? That is where we have to
Be
focus
prepared.
on.
Yeah, we have to be prepared for that.
Yes, yes. Because this is a nice time for you. There's more a honeymoon period, no? You're also feeling
Exactly.
good because
That's
it's
been
your
working.
idea. People are welcoming, coming. They're also having fun, of course. And there's no red flags that you see.
Yeah.
Right? But once the word spreads, it also depends on how word is being spread.
Yeah.
So if they are going to go tell people, you know what, it's a fun place, you can just go break things, and it's fun. But if not somebody, over a period of time, it could also be that people who are spreading this information could be saying that, you know what, when we were doing this, actually I thought of my boss in my head and I was banging things. So we are giving a message to the public.
Yeah, we've had questions like that. We had people telling that also.
Yes.
And since that came up, like from the second day itself, people started messaging us, can we bring photos of our exes, photos of our bosses? And that's when we started telling people, this is not a place for you to target your rage on anybody. So we don't allow them to bring anything like that. So it's just a place where you can just break things. You don't have to have to relate it to something. So if you have a rage, you just like some kind of experience, you just keep it to yourself. But we cannot target it on somebody, a person, a specific person. You cannot do that. So this space is not for that. We kind of made it very clear to them. Anybody who is coming here, we try to make it very clear to them.
Right. So you can actually substantiate it with some real research proof.
Yeah.
Because if you're looking at it from a catharsis point of view, the original cathartic theory itself, as put forth by Freud, says your anger only when ventilated on the real target can reduce it.
Okay.
It is not a substitute to reduce it. It is not a substitute.
Okay.
So if you are like punching a pillow thinking of your boss, it actually doesn't help you to reduce your anger. In fact, it only feeds it.
Okay.
You want to do it again and again.
Yeah.
Till you actually do it to the person you're meaning it.
You're wanting to believe that it's helping, but according to catharsis theory, that's not how it works.
Okay.
In fact, sorry to interrupt. In fact, what happens is there is another theory called cognitive neo-dissociation theory.
Okay.
You don't have to remember all this, but I'll just tell you the concept. That says rage or anger is so closely associated with your memory.
Okay.
So when you are thinking of somebody and you are hitting something, you're constantly being reminded of that person or incident or insult, whatever. And therefore, your intensity is not coming down. It is only increasing.
It's increasing. Right. So that's what we don't want it to be a space for them to target any rage on anything or anybody at all.
Yes.
It's just a fun experience. That's how we want it to be. Like we also, like I've told Rupam before, like since we started realizing it has so many things going on in the background, we are trying to like collaborate with a lot of psychologists and have people to like help them out in actual way. Like more people are actually worried on our socials that this is not the right way to handle stress. So as an answer to all of those questions, yeah, we are trying to get people there. We are trying to understand people and get them real help. This is not real help at all. So if we have a psychologist here trying to talk to them, we might actually find out what's the underlying cause for their whatever the reason they here, and try to get done with it. So they might be helpful. That's the real help. This is not the actual help we are offering.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually, even in psychological experiments, real experiments, I won't say which are unethical, but sometimes we have to engage in experimentation that are not completely ethical, So in those times, what we do as researchers in psychology is, what we do is, we take the consent, but after they are part of the experimentation, we give a debriefing to them. We explain to them, this is what you went through, and we were not able to tell you this in advance because that would influence your results. So just to maintain the credibility of the findings, we did that, but we want you to go well informed of what you did. So that would really help when you have a mental health professional at your center as a full-time person, who not only will help you screen people before you go, before they go inside. Why I'm saying that is, Arun, this may be thinking too far, but I'm only thinking, again, it's only been 25 days. Another 2-3 months from now, you might get people from all walks of life.
He himself mentioned that to me, that now we might,
I just don't want to be unprepared for that.
Exactly,
I want to be prepared.
That's
for
why
everything.
I said it's your safety also. No, it's not only for the people who go in. So when you look at mental disorders as such, there are some mental disorders like schizophrenia or mania or a severe borderline personality disorder where rage is a defining symptom. Right? So people who have any of these can walk into it and they want to release, with all good intentions. They also want to feel better and all that. But essentially they have a problem, they have a mental disorder, and they may be under treatment, they may not be under treatment because they themselves have not recognized it so far probably. So in those instances, even before you send a person, it's better that you do a psychological screening for all the clients who go inside. Because unless you do a screening, you don't know who has what. Right? So I'm sure you must be getting some intake form or something right now.
I'm doing that right now.
But if you could take the help of a psychologist to frame a psychological screening tool or something like that. So I think you are at a better
something like this on similar lines. We do have a questionnaire. We do take we talk to them, we have a questionnaire, we take some details, we ask them if there is any particular reason they want to go inside, are they targeting any particular rage inside. So we do have a questionnaire like that. We got a little help from a professional and everything, but like you said, we need to have a person there. So as soon as we realize that person is having a problem, it's not right to just deny them entry and just send them away. Just let them inside, just have a little bit of stress release, and just send them directly to the person and ask them to talk and have a session there, and that would help them a lot. Rather than sending them away, this is the best thing.
So you don't
sending them away can also work in a really bad way.
Correct. As from a business model, that's definitely not the right thing to do. But if you could just give, you can have a pre-session also, with this psychologist there who kind of explains everything, how anger works and stuff like that. Because again, research says distraction plays a very important role in reducing your intensity of anger.
Distraction.
Rumination increases, but distraction reduces.
I think most of us understand that. And that was the main, that was our intention. When we started having games, people started coming to our place, hanging out as groups, staying there for almost an hour or two, and then having a really good time. That's how I wanted it to be. And then this was not very mainstream idea, but then it is kind of taking a lot of turns. And I'm happy that a lot of people are questioning that. So once people start questioning it, they have a better understanding about it. More people can really have work on it also. Now that I started, I'm hoping more people want to experiment on that. And I've also told Rupam that this seems a little bit dangerous, but we want to take it to a different path and have soft toys, and people can play around with soft toys. We had pillow fights when we were kids. We can do that also. We're working on that.
Yeah, because he was telling me some parents are reaching out to him. Can I bring my kids? And it's strictly for adults, obviously. So he's like, I want to introduce, the soft toys, soft fights, pillow fights, maybe. And since we are talking about releases of anger, I want to actually ask both of you, in your respective field, if you can answer, is controlling anger better or releasing it? And I'm asking this only because we've all grown up listening to, our elders tell us, don't get angry.
Yeah.
Don't break things. Don't you dare get angry.
Yeah.
So we realize that it's such a bad thing to show anger, even if you feel. And I believe we were talking the other day. You told me it's one of the six basic emotions, just like love is.
Yes.
So why do we treat anger in a certain way that it has to be subdued? It has to be suppressed. You can never show it. So I'm asking you: is it good to show anger, or release anger, or control anger? Which is better? Because we are taught to control it.
Correct. So it's a strong cultural interjection for us to say, like, go Varda.
Yeah.
Go Varda. It's like
I think nobody can do it better than you right now, the reaction. Yeah.
It's like as if it's a taboo.
Yeah, it's a taboo.
To get angry, irrespective of your age.
Yeah.
The more younger you are, the more tabooish it is, whatever. So all this problem comes because we've been taught from a very young age to label our emotions, not accept our emotions.
Yeah.
Right? So for us, like you rightly said, you can't even feel angry. Right? It's not about expression.
It's that restriction from the very young age
Absolutely.
about being angry.
Yeah. See, nobody validates, especially the parents or the teachers, any significant adult in your life does not validate your feelings of anger. So over a period of time, it becomes so internalized for you as an individual to think that it is wrong. And therefore, we try to deny, right? Or we try to kind of completely bottle it up. And it comes out as at the most appropriate place as a huge explosion. And the whole disaster is done there. The damage is done. Had you expressed it then and there, it wouldn't have been this bad.
And another thing is that none of us are taught to how to express it either, or process it also. Like once you have an issue, we are not asked to talk about it also. You just say, just like close it up, just move on to the next thing. We are not asked to process it. We are not told how to process it, or we don't have the certain kind of freedom to talk to our parents either about certain issues. That's a major thing. Like I have friends, I have people telling me that I didn't know how to tell this to anybody, so that's how it has been like bottling up for this long. And it's not like just like a few weeks or anything, it's been over years. And that's really bad.
It's very sad,
because
for that lack of approval, you are not able to. So obviously you're pushed into denying. So beyond a point, you're wanting to tell people, you know what, this happened, I got so angry, but over a period of time, I forgot. It can't be that way, You are only telling yourself, you're kind of cheating yourself by saying that you have forgotten. It's not so.
So if you look at the rage room, say, of course, if done in a, like he's saying, it's meant for fun, just come and break things if that makes you feel good. Or like I watched some videos where people said, just de-stress. It can be many things in many ways. But just the fact, do you think he's offering a controlled environment where there is safety, suits, gloves, everything, and he's not really giving you items which can cause you harm. You break a glass, you break a TV sets, and we'll get into the recycling part of it also. So do you think having venting out anger in whatever capacity, is healthy in that control environment, or do you think there is a reverse effect of that can happen?
See, there is a huge possibility of a reverse effect because what happens is, here at the rage room, it's a very restricted environment with a lot of safety gears that the actual act is happening. But the human brain is wired in such a way that it always, or most probably, I can't say always, most probably has this capacity to form generalizations.
Yeah, it does. It
has, we always, even in our vocabulary, we say, eppome ipdidan. We say, always this is how it is. It would have been like 4 out of 10, but 4 itself is always for us. So there is a possibility for people who come out, again, it all depends on the intensity of anger with which they come and the purpose with which they come. Like for people who are looking at it as a fun thing, it doesn't matter. But for people who are coming to it from a release intention, so there is a huge possibility that it can get generalized. So for them, if you are angry, anger expression is breaking. So that conditionality can form.
Okay.
Because what happens is the power to destroy, is very intense.
Yeah.
When you can destroy something, it's a huge power you feel within you.
Yeah.
So that can be very reinforcing to some people.
Yeah, like there could be people who have felt lost at some point, really helpless. This is something kind of okay. This is okay.
It's
This
a
is
release.
empowering me. Okay, I
Yes.
feel some power,
Yes.
and this could just encourage them to do something.
Yeah,
So
just-
like Rupam always said me that there is two sides to a coin.
Absolutely.
Like this could be really bad or this could be really good. So it depends on the person, and that's why I think it's really necessary to have a screening before you do.
Especially in
Yeah.
a city like Chennai,
Yeah,
it's supposed to be
it is, yeah,
conservative.
yeah.
This is a huge sense of liberation for people, no?
Exactly.
To feel you
And-
can come and break. Oh my God,
Yeah.
so nice.
And like normally we're told not to break things. So this is kind of a, like we mentioned earlier, it's a fun
Correct.
activity, but we are also thinking about all these things. So like if this is not the general population, the whole lot, but we are talking about a specific group which has anger issues. So we don't want to let them unmonitored, like give them the like required advices or whatever is necessary, and take the necessary precautions so that we like they don't get into trouble or they don't hurt themselves.
Right.
Like also a common question is that what would people come and hurt themselves inside? Like yeah, that's true, people can do that, but people who want to hurt themselves, that's not the only place they can hurt themselves. It can happen anywhere.
Yeah.
At least if they are going to do it here, I'll be looking after them, or something happens, I can rush them to anywhere that's necessary. Outside, some might not be lucky enough to get that help.
Yeah.
So even though it has a bad face to it, I think it can be helpful to really a lot of people. If not a lot of people, even if it helps one person, that's a good impact.
And you also said that there's no single entry, right?
Yeah, no single
people,
entry.
to known people
Yeah.
only go inside.
We don't club strangers either. So a couple of friends come, so friends activity, so that's fine.
Right.
Like when I was thinking about this as an idea, none of these questions like popped in my head in the beginning, because when I was little, I was somewhat kind of in the rural Chennai, so we like tube lights and bottles in dumpsters was a common scene. So we used to throw rocks or something and break stuff, and it was like not a really good thing to do, but we were kids back then.
Yeah.
Then that happened, it was just a little satisfaction or whatever. We used to pop balloons, we used to like burst crackers and everything.
Power of destruction.
Power of destruction. And now as destructive as this is, crackers are also, but we don't seem to be asking questions about crackers this much. Why? Because it's been there for a long time, and now that this is a different perspective, this is a new thing, all these questions we were supposed to be asking for a really long time, now we were thinking about it, and now that we're thinking about it, we can find an actual solution. I find that really empowering to a lot of people.
Right.
So, yeah.
So I also feel, with regard to what you said, it is the name rage,
Yeah,
which is
other
kind
day I
of-
was telling Room from that
I think I should change.
the rage room is kind of very off-putting. People are getting the wrong idea. I want to like rebrand
Well, it has a
it.
ring to it.
It has a ring to it. It has all the like marketing to it. But yeah, it is giving the wrong idea.
yeah.
We were discussing names like the slightly annoyed room, like that. This is
okay.
a,
But
this
then
is
we
an
get
actual.
all annoyed people.
Yeah, no,
This-
that's
all
all.
annoyed.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
like I certainly don't hope to like name it Happy Room either.
It's not happy room, but I think it's just being yourself kind of a thing.
Yeah, I am
That's very
definitely
that
looking
free child
to.
types, no,
Yeah.
not that adapted child types.
I'm definitely looking to rebrand it, like get a name, different name to it. Rage Room was not my own idea either. It's been around like all over, and people have caught on to it.
yeah.
It's like how we call a restaurant.
Correct,
So
correct.
I thought of a place and I didn't know what else to name it. So Rage Room Vaccarina was the idea. Vaccarina is like whacking things. So that's how I thought it. But Rage Room picked on.
Yeah, you've actually called it Vac Arena,
yeah,
but everybody's
it's
calling it the
called
Rage
Rage
Room.
Room.
only.
Okay.
Nobody's picking up
Yeah,
from the
from
Vac
Vac
Arena.
Arena.
Well, Vac also means hitting.
Yeah, hitting, no?
But
Yeah.
it's not as like
Correct.
crazy as
Rage
Rage
is
seems.
like
Rage
Rage
is
is like immediately you see that orange flames, you
Yeah,
know.
it's not even
Anger
orange,
is
it's
what
more
I
like
mean. When you say rage,
yes.
it's like pure red, not even orange. It's pure red,
red,
flames.
yeah.
Yeah.
like when you're really, really angry, you don't say I'm angry, I'm raging.
Yes.
So like that.
Yes,
you know?
yes,
So
yes.
probably now, Arun, you understand why it's become so
Exactly.
popular. Like other day again we were talking, and I was like, did you know that it'll become so viral? Everybody will want to come, and his slots are like fast filling. So he's like, no, I had no idea. But now that you see that how people are associating it with release, anger, and a lot of people, I think, want to went out, release. So probably that's why it's so popular.
When I was going to start it, people actually told me this is not going to work in Chennai.
Yeah.
So this might work in Mumbai. Like one of my friends who were from Mumbai told me there is one in Mumbai, I think, and Mumbai people would do it. They're pretty like forward and everything. But Chennai, I think, with the conservative people, we won't have people
So
here.
more controlled anger.
And that's what they told me. I was like, it's okay. Anyways, I'm just putting this out there as an experiment. So let's just see how it works. That's how I started. And since I started getting all the feedback, all the responses and everything, I am just more excited to make more research onto it.
Right.
And unlike any other business model or any other fun activity, this doesn't exist for me to go and to look into something and follow the structure. This is something I'm like experimenting, and we are figuring it out something. So there's a lot of research going on around, and there's a lot of space to work around also. So this is not a perfect system yet. We are looking like if I put up a gaming space, I don't have to worry about the psychological part at all. Just come play here, just leave.
Fun.
But that's pure fun. But this is something like we need to like look into it like properly.
Yeah. Right.
So
I think as long as nobody is telling you to shut it,
Not at all. Not at all.
shut it, and if you can make those necessary changes. I think
going back to the question you asked, Rupam, about the cultural thing, right?
Yeah.
So we said we are not even allowed to be in touch with that emotion of anger. It's always a distance, you be an alien to it, as if it can never affect you, or you should not get affected. So the concept of feeling that itself is, as a cultural thing, is not okay. But the shift has to come in terms of it's okay to feel angry. So what needs to be addressed is the appropriate way of expression. Isn't it? That itself is a shift that as a culture we need to undergo. And these kind of things, I'm sure, if done with the right research base and all that, you can pave the way for it.
Like in my eyes, when I see rage, like most of us, like when we talk about love, we talk about hugging or something. So that's kind of like good thing. But how are we taught to express anger? Like we are never taught to express it, but how we learn is when we are angry, we need to beat someone up. Like our parents.
From the time you are a small child,
parents,
you fall down, the parents hit the floor.
Like parents get angry, you get hit. Like you fail an exam, you get hit. So the only thing that we learn or we perceive, associate to anger is getting hit. Like that's not the way to process anger, and certainly breaking things is also not the way to process anger. But it's certainly better than hitting someone.
We have not learned it.
We have not learned it. Even I wasn't taught. So I'm just looking forward to learn it better, and like how can it be safe? Like how anger as an emotion can be a good thing too. Like
and expressed in the right way, released in the right way.
We've been told anger is a bad thing, like we were discussing, but it doesn't certainly have to be a bad thing. It's like
it's one of the six emotions, primary emotions. We don't have to label it as a negative emotion, so that it's bad, it's wrong, kind of a thing.
So Sangeetha, what happens when you get angry and you release that anger? What happens when you break things? What happens? What happens in the brains that you feel so powerful?
See, you're getting angry, and when you're expressing it through breaking, through any kind of destruction, there is so much of physiological arousal that you feel, right? So the moment you break, so it is a sense of satisfaction. So the moment there is a sense of satisfaction that you feel, then what happens? There are a lot of brain chemicals, like dopamine, like endorphins, which are the calming chemicals, let's say. These are secreted and you feel good. It's a feel good thing.
Since you brought that up,
that is why there is a reinforcement.
Since you brought that up, like I've seen people been in the rage room. I've seen like a couple of emotions there. First, when they enter, they'll be scared. To break things, they'll be scared. And once they start breaking, they feel a little bit happy. I have never done this before. I'm doing this now, and this gives me a sense of happiness. They come out happy, and then at the end, when they step out, they have a sense of satisfaction. Like we see like in ASMR videos, right, in Instagram, like cutting stuff or all this I just forgot the term, but most like satisfactory videos, something like that. People tell me like didn't help me in a lot of ways, but it was really satisfactory. Yeah, they tell that, and some people have questioned that also. If people find satisfaction in breaking things, that's a really bad thing.
It will get repeated.
Yeah, that's this is one of the common examples I try to give a lot of people. Like sugar 1 day or 2 days good for health, but if you take it daily, it gets you a lot of disease. The same way, this is a 1 day experience. You get a taste of it, that's fine. But if you're going to want to have it daily, you certainly need to get help or process it in a different way. This is not the right way. That's what I've been trying to tell everyone.
That's what, again, for a person who goes inside with the intention of catharsis only, it becomes addictive.
Yeah.
I am going there to have
That's
fun, to spend some time with my close friend there.
And now in
the
age of Instagram, where people want to like post photos, like get things going on social media, this is a kind of place for that. It's something new. That's it. And this is I like kind of believe that this is not going to be a viral thing for a really long time either. So just as long.
Why should not it get viral for the right reasons?
Yeah, for the right reasons, yes, it definitely can.
I don't
so if it helps people really well, it's going to be there. Like more things are going to pop up. Like as soon as we started, in 5 days, we saw one come up in Madurai. So we had people coming in from Coimbatore asking us like, how did you do this? Help us get one in Coimbatore also. So like people understand there is a need for that. But the people who approached me or the people who like wanted to start one certainly didn't have all these thought. The psychological part, I definitely think they didn't think about. So that since like when I said earlier, there is no other model to look into. Like since like we are like a lot of people are interested into this right now. If we get into the right group of people, we can get a proper model out there, get this in the right way.
Absolutely.
Like you said, like if this gets out in the wrong way, this is really destructive, and we certainly don't want it to be that way.
Right.
So we need to work around a lot in that, and we are trying to keep it as safe as possible. Like for everybody, like so that was the main reasons we didn't want to allow kids inside, and the questionnaire in the beginning, and also trying to talk to them after they are outside, and all that is like a step towards that. It certainly needs more perfection, more research and everything. And I'm actually glad ma'am like told me that there are students wanting to do research and that. That's going to be really helpful.
In the 25 days, have you gotten more men or more women?
That's like a tricky question. I think it would be equal. Equal.
Okay. And since you sit and watch, like you've told me,
Yeah.
There are cameras,
Yeah.
you know, and you sit and watch.
And
you're always on the watch.
I like there is a need for me to be on watch.
So have you seen the men get more angry or the women get more angry?
Okay, is this safe to answer?
Yeah, it's safe to answer. Because
I
I'm
think
going to ask her next that do men and women get angry differently?
I think women get more angry.
More angry. That's what you've noticed.
Like, see, I don't know how to exactly portray this, but I don't think they were angry, but they were enjoying breaking more.
Okay.
I don't know if
That's
that
what
makes
you
sense.
felt. No,
That's what I
that's what
felt.
you felt.
Because they didn't have any anger or rage in their face or anything, but they literally broke things into powder, but they were smiling. So I'm not sure how or what it is, but yeah, that's a tricky question to be honest.
Right. So I want to know from you, Sangeetha.
Okay, so mine.
I want to know from you, do men and women actually get angry differently?
See, anatomically, the part of the brain which is responsible for emotion is pretty much the same for men and women. But again, it's a cultural implication, right? Ours is, whatever said and done, end of the day, it's a patriarchal society, right? Okay. So a man getting angry is not so much a taboo compared to a woman getting angry.
It seems
Probably
fine.
the level would have been the same, but we'll see it, oh, the man, no, he breaks like this. But a woman, when she breaks like this,
oh my God, you can get angry. You know, it is like that.
So
now that we have discussing about that, I think women feel more safe to be angry or do like some kind of a powerful move there.
It's more of a safety
place. If she do it out there, she's going to be questioned a lot.
See, when do you feel angry? Actually, when there is real or perceived injustice, that's when you get angry. So that both a man and a woman can see injustice, right? Sometimes anger, when you're even showing anger or when you're acting with out of anger, that may not be the primary emotion. You are probably frustrated or disappointed inside and it is manifested as anger. So it's not anger per se.
Yeah. And one thing that we're leaving out of this conversation entirely is sadness. Like people might come here to break things out of sadness also.
Yeah.
It's not entirely about
Feeling low,
rage.
yeah,
It's about a couple of things together.
Yeah.
So trying to process emotions is entirely like a different thing for us here.
In fact, I was about to say that whenever there is loss, there is sadness.
Yeah.
So, and you feel so helpless there
Yeah.
because you can't do anything about the loss. And that can be very frustrating. And that frustration can come out as anger.
yeah.
So, it's actually not anger, it's sadness,
It's
coming
sadness.
out as anger.
Right.
So the underlying cause is something we cannot just pinpoint it right on
Yes.
what we see.
Yes.
Unless we get to know them or try to understand them, we cannot just pin it on anger.
Yes.
So why they are inside there, why they want to break things or how they are breaking things is all like an accumulation of over years of like emotions and everything.
Right.
So probably that questionnaire or the the tool that you probably are planning to have,
Yeah.
and have a brief talk with them for about 10-15 minutes before they enter. You could probably show all these emotions on an emoji types,
Okay.
and ask them to tell you what is it that they actually feel. We
Okay.
cannot assume that they are angry.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
Probably for all you know, they themselves think that they are angry while they are actually not.
Okay.
That
So this
insight
is-
may not be there, no?
Right.
I'm
Because
actually
in our regional language, இப்போ தமிழ்ல பேசுறோம் அப்படின்னா கோபம் தான், ஃபியூரியஸும் கோபம் தான், ரேஜும் கோபம் தான், ஆங்கிரியும் கோபம் தான். So we don't really
have
look at
levels
it
of
from
different levels, yeah.
graded thing, right? So it's better for us to know what is it that even if they're feeling happy, they're feeling happy. So
Yeah.
what?
Can you walk us through what a client can expect when, say, I'm booking, a rage room, I want to go
Okay.
and try it. You walk us through what we'll get, what things we get to break.
Okay, so right now we take only bookings. So they have to book prior before they reach us.
Okay.
So they take a booking. So we give a set of instructions on the phone itself.
Okay.
Like, and then when they reach us, with the package we include the food and everything also. So they come first to us, and then we just suit them up entirely and just give them all the gear. And then we just take them inside the rage room, and then there we have another set of instructions. Like we explain them what to do and what not to do, and it's quite elaborate also. Like we have certain things inside the rage room that they cannot break also. Like we have air conditioning, you're not supposed to break that. something something like that. We've had people asking me, can I bring down the walls? Please don't. so like we give them a set of instructions, and then I just tell them that, and once their timing starts, I tell them that I'll be here every 5 minutes. I'll be checking on you, and you can have fun, and you just enjoy as a group. And most of the times they finish breaking up the things in the first 5 minutes or first 10 minutes, and the remaining time what they do there is take photos. And we've had people actually making like reels or doing dance moves and just vibing as a group inside. And me
I know, that's what I
and me
said,
seeing
yeah.
all those things doesn't seem like a rageful thing for me either. It was just a fun activity. Some guys who have been there with their girlfriends see it as like playing cricket. They just like hit with the bats, and they just like, okay, this was fun, okay, let's go to the next room and chill. So it's like 2 rooms now. So in one of the room they break things, and the next room it's more like a hangout spot. They chill there or just like take a few minutes rest before they break the next thing. So that's how we've been there. So once that session ends out, they come out and we give them food coupons also, and then we have a good vibe place for them to go and chill and have really good food. So we just the restaurant is in the upstairs. So before starting the rage room itself, the restaurant was a vibe spot.
Okay.
So we like I was telling you before, we will have groups of people coming there, sitting there for hours and talking and doing that. So that's the more like right way to express emotions, we think. Like it is true. So that is also, we recommend that. You don't have to, the rage room is not the only way, or we recommend everyone to try it. We don't want that. If you're interested, you can have a taste of it, but like you can come out to the restaurant just for the food or play carom, play Jenga. That is what we want more people to do. The rage room is just one of the things.
That's right.
Yeah.
And what are the things that they can break inside?
So we have 3 categories of things to break right now. We have glassware, plasticware, and ceramics. Mainly because these are easy to recycle.
Right.
So we are looking into more things to like bring
Only
in
recyclable.
only recyclable,
Yeah.
because from the 3rd day we started getting questions like you are making things useless for recycling also, and you are harming the environment also. Not just the psychological part, you're doing this also. So I was like, I am right now forced to work on two streams, like on this part and the psychological part also. So it's kind of very interesting to do all this, and I'm actually happy people coming out like telling us things to how you can improve it, and this is really good thing.
So what's your plan of recycling? I remember you telling me.
So like plastic is the usual recycling thing. We just bag it up and we send it to the actual recycling plant. And glass, we have 3 or 4 types of ways to recycle it. So one of the ways we are looking forward is to upcycle it. So broken glasses, we are working on it to make it into vases, like flower vase or flower pots. Right now we are sourcing fresh sand and then making a fresh clay and making pots out of it and sending it outside. So what my ideology is that instead of getting like depleting more of the natural resources, we can recycle what's already there. Get the bottles, convert them into pots, and then send it out to like plant your own planters. And this is not a conventional pot either. It has glasses in them. They're going to look really colorful, and it's going to be a good thing to have. And another thing is that we are planning to recycle it as a breakable also. Like we make the pot and we can give the pot also to break, and once they break that pot, we can recycle it again.
You can make it again.
So the things we are going to send out can reduce really a lot. And this point where we are concerned very much about the environment, I think this will be a really good thing.
Okay.
And to encourage people to have more pots like this and not break it, we have like a very something like a cute idea probably. If they want to take the pot home, they can take it home for 80 rupees or something. But if they're going to break it, they have to pay 150.
Oh, that's nice.
So they're going to definitely take the pot home. So like instead of them taking buying out new plastic pots and trying plants, and now it's a trend to have a lot of home plants. And now this is a cute pot for your home, so you can take this home at a very cheaper price also.
Right.
So
That's really a cute idea.
Yeah, we are looking into more stuffs, and actually how we are making the potters is that we're going to mix it with cement and make stuff. So that really opens up a lot of doors. Me being an architect, like I am looking forward to make such things. So furnitures are possible, vases are possible.
Oh yeah, he's also an architect.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So there are a lot of possibilities to recycle glass in ways they don't end up in dump yards. So that's my main target to like make a change.
And sourcing the materials, is that difficult since now
Yeah,
slots are
people
filled,
don't
so
want to break bottles anymore.
Yeah, see, because that's the easiest apparently.
That's the easiest for me to source, and they're like, we don't want to break bottles, we want something else. So the common requests are huge TVs. They want huge TVs. They want washing machines. They want fridge. Some people even came in and asked me, bring us a car. We want to break a car. Okay.
Why do you think that's happening? Is that got a connect with, breaking bigger things is more powerful?
I think it's just more fun. Like how they asked me with what
No,
I
that's something that you will never get to do otherwise.
Yeah, exactly. Breaking a car outside is almost impossible. Even if you scratch a car, you're worried about how much is it going to take me to fix it, or how much if you scratch somebody else's car, oh my god, he's going to sue me and ask me for lakhs.
Yeah, I think
that's
what you
so
said.
never
Bottles
get
anyone can break.
Bottles,
TV.
ceramics, all that. Sometimes it slips and it falls.
Yeah.
You've had the experience.
Yeah.
But this you've never
Never
had.
done.
And they also have the liberty to ask you, to request you.
But
So-
are you going to?
I'm not quite sure, and I'm not sure how to source it either. And you have been to my place, you know the place constraints. So
yeah.
cars are not
Cars
an
are
idea
not-
right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
But
think
fridge, washing machine, are you going to?
we've had one fridge.
Okay.
And the problem I found out with that was, as a unit, it looks like a cute cupboard. But once I break it, it almost has a lot of foam, which I have no ways to recycle.
Right.
So I'm just not interested in fridge right now. So
Okay. Right.
it's a slippery slope right now. So the new things are like need to
Okay.
be worked on. I have to
Right.
find ways. So we are actually looking forward to have little cardboard boxes also, because I can just repack them and just have them for
You have
break.
to see if people are happy breaking them.
Yeah,
If they
like
feel
even the
satisfied
bubble
enough.
wraps. You have the bubble wraps, right? Even those kind of things, maybe
Paper,
something bigger,
shredding paper.
paper,
Yeah.
having balloons. Like I am like a lot of experimenting it around it. Like I didn't want it to be entirely a dangerous thing.
Yeah.
We've actually thought of putting people on raincoats and throwing sponges with water on them because like it's been there. It's
Yeah.
not a new idea. There
yeah.
has been, it's seen in all the exhibitions and everything.
Yes.
But you don't get to do that a lot often. You can just do this at your home also. And the thing is that I don't want to charge for any of this. The throwing the sponge thing and all, I don't want to charge for this. I just have to give them a space and just a raincoat for them. They just can do it for fun if they want to. Like the more I want it to be a space for them to be happy.
Yeah.
A good space, a hangout space, yeah. And of course, it has a business motive to it, and the business is the food behind that. And none of this I want to be like an actual business.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think it's just the idea of rage and breaking,
Breaking.
which is not
giving
sitting
the-
well
yeah,
with happy.
happiness, yeah, exactly.
Which his intention is.
Actually is, yeah.
Okay, so obviously he's the brains behind the Rage Room. He's wanting it to, become bigger and better, like we've discussed what he could incorporate. But do you think something like this is here to stay? A concept of a Rage Room, how people are viewing it?
Again, any new concept has its own pros and cons, right? So I'm sure if there are, like he rightly said, it's still a slippery slope and there's so much of research that needs to go into it and all that. So if he is able to work around it, I think it's a very nice concept that should stay on, because end of the day, the intention is people have to be happy there,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
So that being the case, yes, it should stay on. Why not? But of course, it needs a lot of research to be done, a lot of psychological inputs that should go into it, and even the working model
To address anger per se.
per se.
Yeah.
If at all, because after the conversation, somewhere I am asking myself, I mean, why are we even talking about anger here? Because here it is more in terms of people are coming, hanging out, they have a room where they chill, they go eat, they get their food coupons, and then end of the day they have to be happy. Where is anger here?
So yeah.
That way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else that you want to add which might
Just one thing. You told me I'm the brains behind the Rage Room. I think that's not true. This idea has been around for a long time.
Yeah, you
I'm
actually
just-
mentioned you saw something on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah, there is actually a season called Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I saw people breaking in that, the main leads being
Just
inside
for
a
fun.
range just
Like
for fun.
How you
It
throw
will-
plates and all, no, just
Yeah.
for fun.
It's
Yeah,
just for a
yeah.
birthday party, like we go out for a movie or something, right? These guys took them to a rage room. Like they weren't even raging, they were just throwing plates, and one of the person with a huge box of spaghetti, he was eating that inside the rage room. So that was a stress relief for him. So that's the idea behind it.
Right.
Rage, your emotion, this is not the only way to express it. You can just do anything you want. If you're really angry, come eat upstairs. Have your food. Maybe try something spicy if you want to.
Right.
Like do that. It's just not like a boxed thing where you have to only break things to express your anger.
Yes.
So do you
So
think
my-
he should change rage, the term rage? Do you think?
I would strongly recommend
See?
simply because he said I basically want people to be happy. So where is rage and happiness? It's a contradiction.
Yeah.
But my serious suggestion to the whole idea would be, Arun, to definitely have a psychologist in your team, right? And also a psychologist who will work with you on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
Interacting with the people, because I think it will be looked upon from a very different perspective if you introduce that.
Yeah, I think that is really necessary. And since I've already, like you're telling me now, and I've also had the thought already, and now that it is getting really enforced, I'm really sure I just have to get it as soon as possible.
Sure.
And there has been a lot happening in the past 25 days, and a lot of improvements have been going on. And I think I wouldn't be taking so long for this to happen either.
I know it must be very overwhelming.
Yeah. So no, as much as these seem to be a lot of effort, I think it's really necessary. Like I was telling earlier, when we are doing something and we're putting it out there, and now that all of them are taking a look into this, I want to give out a perfect model. So when the next person wants to do something like this, I want to tell them this is how you can proceed, so that this is a safe space for you and the people coming here also. Like how restaurants came out. When restaurants came out, they weren't perfect in the first place either. Then food standards came, this is a specific way to prepare, the rules came in. Like that, we need to set some rules. Like we are looking for help for that, and I'm really glad ma'am can give me so much inputs.
Definitely.
But I also think if you are wanting to change it into from rage to happy, that will also not work.
Yeah.
Because you are again going and breaking things and having fun breaking things and all that. So I don't think the happy.
I think I
No,
need
no, no.
to take
And
it.
I just said
Yeah.
the intention is, he said, end of the day, I want people to be happy
Happy,
there.
yeah.
If that is the mission, then the word rage becomes, I feel it's kind of restricting to the whole thing of
Subconscious
anger,
implication.
ventilation. I think that is the trigger word.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
No?
That surely is the trigger word.
Trigger word.
I am very convinced about that.
Ah.
But like she said, it has a ring to it and some kind of a attraction
Like
towards
there is
it.
there is
So
a when,
and again,
okay.
I'm just right there. I don't know which side to lean on right
It's
now.
more of liberation,
Yeah.
it's more
Yeah.
of free child, it's
Yeah.
more of being
So I
you,
think-
Healthy venting.
healthy vending or
I think I need to
something like
take
that.
a look in the dictionary again. I might have to
Yeah,
find
yeah,
another
yeah.
word.
Because I think once that changes, whole lot of perception will
Yeah.
change, and then your mission will really be accomplished.
Yeah.
Where people
Yeah.
will really be happy. Only happy people come, or I mean, the purpose of coming is not for venting.
Yeah.
Because that's definitely
That's
not your
definitely,
intention, is what you're
but
saying.
that's definitely not his forte also. Like
Huh.
he told me also, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not an
Huh.
expert.
Huh.
How will I handle if people
Right.
are looking at it as a place to, say a
These days.
psychologist opened something like this for experimentation, you come and went and he
Yeah.
or she is treating clients. That's a different thing.
Correct, correct.
But he, in his power, he can't be doing that.
Yes.
So
That's
he-
why we need professional
correct,
help.
Correct, yeah. And your intention wasn't that in the first place.
Yes.
Even if it is healthy vending, little de-stressing, that all that is okay.
So the
Yes.
main reason why we couldn't have it from the beginning itself was the like organizational part and the financial part of it. Now that we are getting support, I think it's really like it is going to be easy to have such thing, and it's going to be really helpful also. And like we were discussing the correct model, we are going to put it out, and I'm really hoping to make this a good thing. Like she said, if it's a good thing, it can be there for a long time, and I'm hoping it for it to be a long time.
I definitely hope it stays.
Yeah, see, if
It
you're
is gonna be
open to bringing about changes in your working model,
Yeah.
I think it should.
Yeah. Okay, and I think you guys should talk a little more. We'll get help.
This can go on for hours if we keep
Yes,
talking, and
yes.
it has a lot of potential for research also.
Right, yeah.
So yeah,
Anything I missed that you want to add?
You
Anything
should
I
ask
missed?
Arun.
I'm quite not sure, but yeah, I think we covered everything.
Anything from your perspective that I missed asking?
Not really, Rupam. This is pretty much what it is.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Arun. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Sangeetha, for giving your time and actually discussing this. Such an important discussion. I don't
Yes,
think many
yes.
people discuss
Yeah.
anger, or like we said, even address it. That we're not supposed to
Yes,
feel, and here
yes,
we are sitting and
yes.
discussing about it. All thanks to you.
Yeah.
And that ring to that rage room.
Rage room.
But
Yeah,
I'm sure with proper, like she suggested some recommendations and all that put together, I'm sure it will be a really good place for people to
Real
feel
hit.
happy.
Hit room is the hit.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you so much,
Thank you so
Arun.
much.
Thank you so much.